So, how do we fit what we know of Abraham, our first father, and the faith into this new way of looking at things? If Abraham, by what he did for God, got God to approve him, he could certainly have taken credit for it. But the story we're given is a God story, not an Abraham story. What we read in Scripture is Abraham entered into what God was doing for him, and that was the turning point. He trusted God to set him right instead of trying to be right on his own. If you're a hard worker and do a good job, you deserve your pay. We don't call our wages a gift. But if you see that the job is too big for you, that's something only God can do, and you trust Him to do it. You could never do it for yourself, no matter how hard and long you worked. Well, that trusting Him to do it is what gets you to sit right with God by God's shared gift. David confirms this way of looking at it, saying that the one who trusts God to do the putting everything right without insisting on having a say in it is the one fortunate man. Fortunate are those whose crimes are catered off, whose sins are wiped clean from the slate. Fortunate the person against who the Lord does not keep score. Do you think for a minute that this blessing is only pronounced over who those of us who keep our religious ways and are circumcised? Or do you think it's possible that the blessing could be given to those who never even heard of our ways, who were never brought up in the disciplines of God? We all agree, don't we, that it was by embracing what God did for him that Abraham was declared fit before God. Now think, was that declaration maybe before God or after he was marked by the covenant rite of circumcision? That's right, before he was marked. That means that he underwent circumcision as evidence and confirmation of what God had done long before to bring him into this acceptable standing with himself, an act of God he had embraced with his whole life. And it means further that Abraham is father of all people who embrace what God does for them while they are still in the outs, with God as yet unidentified as God's in an uncircumcised condition. It is precisely these people in this condition who are